Hello, Professor Murray. This is Eleanor Parks, and in this reflection video, I will be discussing whether I agree or disagree that when it comes to the media, objectivity is an illusion that does not exist and cannot exist. Hansen states, the media in the U.S. have a long tradition of private ownership with almost no or very little government regulation. They control television programming, movies and music production, the content of what goes into a newspaper or magazine, and the publication and circulation of written material. Our democratic society in America affords each citizen a voice and equal rights. But in our media age, is this concept true? Therefore, I firmly agree that when it comes to the media, objectivity is an illusion that does not exist and cannot exist. Throughout our study, we discussed the effects new media has had on society and how it has reshaped our world. As I reflect on the readings, I remember how there are a few corporate conglomerates who control the media. Of the millions of diverse people in America, can and are corporate conglomerates providing fair, unbiased representation through media? I do not believe so. I do not think the media operates based on societal needs and wants, but on what the conglomerates desire. This was indicated in the earliest times in movie production. When society was not as violent and crime-ridden as today, movie producers, writers, and owners showed us pictures of violence and crime. Is this what was prevalent in society during this time? Since violence and crime in movies, on television, and video games, and in featured news stories has escalated. Was crime taught to us by the conglomerates? How to steal, kill, or rob a bank? Hansen noted that conglomerates say violence and crime is what the people have always wanted. Although I am one individual in society, I was born in a Christian home where my family did not commit acts of crime. This was not our lifestyle, and watching this on television pained our hearts. Millions of other citizens were probably raised in the same way. However, never have I taken an opinion poll asking me if I like the violence and crime I see on television or in the movies. This is a clear bias to me against my upbringing and values. And it is coming straight from the top. If the owners on top have such a view, then down the line mass communicators have to produce according to their view. I believe this is predominantly as a result of advertising's role in the media. Advertisers, as we know, seek to gain listener support for larger sales revenues. Therefore, their appeal may not always be fair or ethical. While this is not wrong in and of itself, because this is what companies do, it is important that they do not manipulate data, lie, or present half-truths to win arguments. When what we are presenting has a motive of truth, we can speak or present messages boldly and confidently. I got this from Vertebird 2015, The Challenge of Effective Speaking. We may not always find objectivity, especially here, because there is a clear bias in that they want to generate greater corporate profits. Postman excellently covered this in the video Amusing Ourselves to Death. He discussed how television functions to provide amusement in order to gather an audience to sell to advertisers. We find this to be true in the many programs featured today and the large amount of broadcasting networks we have to choose from that we can watch. Postman also points out how television may not be something we may want to use to learn or discuss important matters. He attributes this to the amount of time television gives to a serious discussion before a commercial such as for Calvin Klein's or an airline advertisement is shown. He even goes as far to insinuate that people watch news reporters because of how appealing they look or sound, again promoting an ideal from the top. We find this to be true and biased while watching our local news stations. Very rarely are they heavier in weight, of a darker hue if you're black, and their voice, diction, and tone is kind of traditional among them. This is a very, very interesting point. Postman said that television is not the best medium to use for important issues because psychologically, on matters of importance, television has a limited amount of time to discuss important issues before viewers have to shift their attention to an advertisement. This is what he considers a discontinuity in television because, in a sense, bias is indicated in how they are controlling our emotions. It has created a problem in society's ability to communicate effectively and to understand or engage in a lengthy discourse on matters of importance and understanding language. McLuhan draws on this idea as Postman in a different way. He shows how the media has somewhat demoralized us to think and act according to what the group thinks. No longer do individuals in society think and act individually, where literacy was cultivated by reading books. Electronic new media has changed this because we are bombarded with messages fast through so many different mediums and according to a collective or group or tribal view. This view more than likely is a collective subliminal conditioning on how society should operate. Pop culture told us the Christian presence in media ownership, production, or upper level management is limited. Therefore, Christians will find tremendous biases to our Christian worldview. Pop culture suggests developments in digital technology increase opportunities to reach people. It and its vast mediums seem to have attempted to reach a diverse audience so as to avoid this issue of bias. In all the mediums, a communication will possibly address your way of life or ideals. Pop culture told us how cyberspace has become such an important part of our lives in such a short time, and we all have become very dependent on it. If we do see, hear, or notice biases in the media, it has been so strategically erected. When we make this an argument of concern, they can dispute or combat the argument now by telling us, just simply turn the switch. This is truly, truly amazing, and why I believe that objectivity cannot exist in the media. Thank you.